Again, I'm Sachin Agarwal, and I'm the Google Summer of Code student for Power Up Android project this year. Power Up is a project under Anita Bog Institute. About me, I am a final year undergraduate at Maharaja Agha Singh Institute of Technology. I am from New Delhi, India. I like to develop things that matters and have a great impact. I have more than 2 years of experience in Android development. I like to listen to music a lot. I always have this playlist going on in a loop when I am working. Also, I like to travel and explore things a lot. So why did I chose Power Up Android specifically? First of all, it was really an impactful and an interesting project. The project addresses the issues of adolescent girls by gamifying everything, which was something very new and interesting to me. Secondly, this project was offering both the opportunities in design and development. As I said, I like to design as well as develop, so that was a perfect fit for me. Thirdly, the project was really challenging. I never worked before on a game development in Android, and there was definitely a lot to learn in this project for me. So let's discuss what were the proposed deliverables and what were the differences of the end product, the actual deliverables. So I proposed the 2 mini games in the actual proposal, but I end up developing 3 mini games. It came out that the iOS student also proposed one different mini game, so we decided to include all the 3 mini games. So secondly, I proposed to make the designs for the Power Up as well, but I only worked on the development. I think that was really a good decision to have another design student in the project. Moving further, let me introduce all of you to my team. So this is the project team I have worked throughout this program. So these are the admins. We have 4 admins. May was actively working with our project. She was taking all the tasks and functioning of the project. We have iOS platform team where we have Jennifer, Ginny, Yu Chao, who is the iOS student for Power project, and Sally. In Android team, that is my team, I had 2 mentors that were Anchal and Dhara. They were being amazing mentors throughout the program, always ready to help me and responding actively to my questions. On the design team, we had 2 members that were Kim, who is again an Google Summer of Code student for the design of Power Up, and we have Dilushi, who is the mentor for design team. Moving further, so let me again introduce to my platform team. So Anchal is again a mentor for Android, and she's also the past Summer of Code student with sister. Last year, she worked on the same project. So that was really helpful for me throughout the program because she understood the code base really well. This is me, again, the Power Up student for this year. And we have Dhara, who is a senior software engineer and a mentor for Power Up Android project. Moving further, let me introduce the project to you, all of you. The Power Up Android project, it is basically an interactive game which is based upon the social and emotional learning model. So it targets the pre-adolescent girls about the various vulnerable subjects like sex, puberty changes, reproductive health, self-realization, self-esteem, etc. The game targets specifically the pre-adolescent girls of age between 12 to 14. So the game goes like this. The user creates a character and tours through the different scenarios. Each scenario deals with the different subject of importance on the topics I mentioned above. Well, the information on what is the aim of the project? Well, we see that information on sex and reproductive health comes to adolescent girls in a very non-filtered way from irresponsible sources like media, internet, peers, that often results in dangerous outcomes. This game ensured that the girls learn these topics the right way in a very interactive and cool way. So let me discuss all the features of the Power Up game. First, we have a map navigation. So in this map navigation, we have different scenarios and a shop activity. In the store, we can buy the exciting items. So user visits through all the scenario in a predefined order. First, user have to visit the home scenario where I'm pointing right now. Then the user will move to the school scenario, then to the hospital scenario, and at last at the library scenario. After each scenario, user gains the karma points, which she can use to buy stuff from the store. The store includes items like clothes, hair, or accessories, which I'm going to discuss in the further slides. Map have these logs, so if I am on home scenario, I can't visit the school scenario until I have completed the home scenario. So as soon as I will complete the home scenario, this scenario, the school scenario, will unlock, and I will be able to play this scenario. This is necessary to ensure that all the scenarios are played in a specific order. Moving to the next feature, that is the game scenarios. As I discussed about the scenarios in the last slide, so we have 4 different scenarios in our game. The content of each of these scenarios have been filtered, and we have taken the consultation from the therapist who is experienced in such matters. So that's how we have ensured the social and emotional learning model. The game has 3 mini games which are put into these scenarios. So the mini games are invoked in between this scenario for specific choices that user makes. For each of the choices that user makes in the scenario, the user is awarded the karma points, which again she can use to buy stuff from the store, like I told you earlier. Moving to the next feature, that's the first mini game, the Minesweeper mini game. This particular mini game has been put into the school scenario. In this game educates about the success rate of different contraceptives that are available in the market. So for example, in this scenario, in this particular case, we have a condom contraceptive. So based upon the success rate of condom, we have made the setup of this game. How it is set up? Basically, the game is based upon the uncertainty, which resembles the use of contraceptive in the real life. So these stars are right now they are not visible. They can be either red in color or green in color. The red indicates the failure, and green indicates the success. So as the user is playing, the user can take any of the stars and reveal that it can turn out to be green or red. That's totally uncertain, random behavior. So if it is a green star, it's a success. User can keep on playing, and if it is a red star, then it is a failure, which resembles a lot a real life scenario with the contraceptives. Moving to the next feature, this is the sink to swim game. Again, a mini game that has been this particular mini game has been put into the hospital scenario. Sorry, it's in the library scenario. This game makes an effort to clear all the myths regarding these topics. So we know that adolescent at this particular age, there are a lot of myths going over internet from peers. So this game aims at clearing all those myths. The user is presented with a statement which can be either true or false. To make it more interesting, we have introduced a timer right here, which runs on a foreground. So it kind of challenges the user to answer fast. Yes. So user can also skip the questions if she doesn't know the answer to that by clicking this question mark right here. Moving to the we also have a pointer in the game. As if the pointer is continuously dropping down, if the pointer reaches at the bottom point of the scale, then the game will end. There are 3 different cases by which the game can end. The first one is that if all the questions are finished, the game will end. Second scenario is when the timer will finish to the preset timing. The third case is when the pointer comes to its bottom point. So in all these cases, the game will end. Moving to the next feature, that is again a mini game, vocabulary matching game. This game aims to provide a knowledge of visual descriptions of the various entities that are associated with the subjects that we discussed earlier, like contraceptives, reproductive health. So this is a dynamically very fast-paced game in which user have to match the visuals in form of tiles, like you can see here. And the name of these visuals are present in the boards here. We have to drag and drop to exchange the positions of the boards and match them exactly with their visuals to gain the score. Moving on to the next feature, this is a shop room I was talking about earlier. From here, these are the karma points that user have gained by visiting all the scenarios and mini games. Now user can use the gained karma points to buy stuff from the shop room. So the hair, clothes, and different accessories are available for the user to buy from. So these were all the major features that are in the Power Up Android project. Let me discuss, give a quick brief of what the challenges I faced throughout the program. First of all, it was really a challenging task for ensuring that the game works on all the Android devices. Android have this different screen sizes, different DPIs, different API levels, which is not present in the iOS version, iOS platform. So it is really difficult to ensure that game works on all the platforms, because it was a dynamic motion type of things. So I had to ensure that in the smaller size screens, the dynamic entities doesn't go outside the screen, and I also have to ensure that layout looks exactly the same on all the screen devices. The DPIs for I have to ensure that different resolution works perfectly on different DPIs, and I have to ensure that different API levels work. I have set the minimum API level at 15 currently. So usually I had to give some extra hours to ensure all of these things than regular development of the project. The second major challenging task for me was that the project structure was not flexible earlier. So there were a lot of features that I had to implement from the scratch. So had it been more flexible to new changes, it would have been easier to introduce the new changes. But unfortunately, I had to work them from scratch, which was actually a great learning experience for me. Thirdly, some of the animations, some of the animations and the inbuilt functions in iOS are not available as it is in Android. So it happens. It happened a lot of times that some feature was implemented in the iOS, and I have to make that exact same feature in Android version, but nothing was available to achieve that. So I had to at last implement that in a custom way. So, for example, there is a graying out of boxes in the Minesweeper game. For that, I implemented the function myself. That was a custom function, and it was not available anywhere on Stack Overflow or internet. I researched through various classes of Android system, and finally, I was able to work that out. Fourthly, the most time-consuming tasks throughout the program were these three bottlenecks that I faced in the program. These were not an easy task to tackle with, because they were some of them were actually the bugs in the main core Android system. So no perfect solution or even a workaround was available for them. Some of the solutions or workaround were available on Stack Overflow, but to us specific, that didn't work out. So that was really time consuming, because I had to achieve all the requirements, but it wasn't that easy with these bugs in the Android system. So I'm going to give you a quick brief of what were these bugs. You can find all of these at my Stack Overflow profile. I have after I found out the solution myself, researching through the Android system files, I found a workaround for all these three bugs, and I posted the answer on Stack Overflow. So the first one, was the set repeat mode method of animations in Android. So if we are using an animation set and that have multiple animations, so the set repeat method doesn't work. This is a very well-known bug on Stack Overflow, and several workarounds have been proposed by different developers. But there was one workaround that worked for me. But when I was doing unit testing, that messed up with that workaround. So ultimately, I had to add a temporary continue button in the sync to stream game. But after discussion with the team, we decided that we should not keep that continue button in the sync to stream game. So I had to find out a workaround again, which was not available anywhere. I tried different solutions, none of them worked, but finally a thought came into my mind and it worked out. The second bug was the set clickable false method. So if we set any of the buttons or image view in Android to false, so if we have said that it is not clickable, but if the user clicks it and the set on click listener is invoked, the false value automatically turns to true. So we can say that set clickable method is not effective at all. So this particular method has to be used at various places. So I found a solution myself after researching a lot. There was a workaround that I found. And again, I have posted a solution for that on Stack Overflow. You can find it in my profile. While I was doing the unit testing using the RoboLactic library, the unit test used to skip the code that was present inside the on animation and method, because the unit test can't execute the animation code. So because animation code has this specific time duration, but unit test just skips through that. So thus there will be a break in the code, because the code in the animation and doesn't execute it, and unit tests were failing because of that. So I discussed the matter with the mentors, but none of the solution came. Then I went on to discuss that on with the other GSoC students. The help came from Abbas, and we discussed the solution, but again, it doesn't work out. Finally, I was able to find out a solution for that myself, and I discussed that with Abbas, and we both learned a lot during that discussion. These were the most time-consuming bugs, but I faced again a lot of other challenges, but they were not they were achievable. They were solvable easily. So there was Android out of memory crash. So since Android has different screen sizes, if the image is of very high resolution, which was the case in our case, because it's a game, we needed a high resolution images. So Android system, what it does is it automatically converts it to the lower pixel density according to the device that Android is running on. So the conversion process that happens when the activity opens, the screen opens. So this is a really heavy process and takes a lot of memory. So at times it used to exceed the memory limit of the memory heap, and the app used to crash because there was not enough memory in the memory heap. So ultimately, I researched about it a lot, and I made a specific buckets for different Android devices and put all the images of different resolutions in the specific buckets. So whenever Kim used to design anything, I also used to work on the design by reducing their pixel density and their storage space and all of that stuff. I used to use the graphic tools like Tiny PNG. Yeah, so that was all. Well, I will like to mention or note here that these bottlenecks were the best thing that has happened to me in this program. I eventually found solution for all of these and shared them on Stack Overflow, which proved helpful for other developers. So I was not active on Stack Overflow before in terms of answering the questions. But after answering this question and having a support from other developers, I liked that idea, and now I'm an active contributor at Stack Overflow, which is again a special feeling for me. Next, let's have a demo for Power Up Android. So I'm going to quickly switch to the emulator. So well, we have a device here, emulator device. So yes, so this is a splash screen. This is the starting screen for the game. We have a about button which tells about the game. It introduces what's the game about. So let's see. So it tells about what's the game about, and why the app is needed, and how does it help the teenagers. So I thought that maybe in future we can have something like content warning if we have add something graphic into the game. So I discussed that with the team, and we decided to include that in the main game. Next, we have the new game and the load game. So if at any point of time user is in midway of the game and like to play the game from start again, she can choose the new game, and all the settings will be reset, the avatar settings, the karma points, everything will be erased, and game will restart from the beginning. Since it's the first time user is visiting the game, I will start with the load game, and it will automatically start with the like a new game. Here we have avatar, and we can customize this avatar. We can choose different skin versions. So we can use the arrows to switch between the different skin versions and select whatever we like. We can choose different eye versions, again by switching through these arrows. We have different clothes as well. Right now I have not included all of them. We have different hair versions as well we can choose from. So let's continue. Once we have decided what avatar we want throughout the game, we can continue. So this is the map screen I earlier showed in the presentation. Here we have 4 scenarios. This is the home scenario. It is unlocked right now, so I can start with this scenario. We have a store. We can go to store anytime to buy stuff from it. These scenarios are locked right now because I haven't completed the home scenario yet. So if you see, if I'm clicking these scenarios, it is unlocked. I can't open them. So let's just start with the home scenario. So yes, this is the main scenario where the user will have to make choices. So here is Marco. He's asking different questions, and the user has to respond to those questions by choosing any of the statements. Since the area is not enough, we have added a scroll here, so user can scroll to choose, see all the options or all the choices that she have. I'm going to choose just random choices right now. And yes, the scenario is finished. So here we can see that user has gained 8 karma points to be exact, and user can replay the whole scenario all over again, or she can go to map to see all the to visit the other scenario, or she can press the continue button to move on to the next scenario directly. Right now I'm going to go to map to show you how the store is looking right now. Let's go to store. So if you remember, we gained 8 karma points in that scenario, and these karma points have been updated here. So now we have enough points to buy some stuff from this store. So we have different hairs, we have different clothes, we have different accessories present here. So if we go to here, we can use this arrow to see more hair entities. Again, I'm pressing this arrow to see more hair entities. Here we have added 3 different type of indications. The first one is select, and it has a right mark. That means that this item is already available for choosing. No karma points will be deducted for choosing this particular version. Then we have a buy version where user have to spend his her karma points to buy that stuff. So we can see that 5 points are needed to buy this stuff, and we have 8 karma points, so we can buy this stuff. Again, we can buy this stuff. If you see this, for this particular hair entity, we need 10 karma points, but we have only 8 karma points, so we can't buy this stuff. That's why this has been disabled. It's been grayed out. If I click on this, nothing will happen. Again, similarly, all the entities with 10 karma points are disabled, and all the entities with 5 karma points are either available for buying or they are already bought earlier. Let's just quickly buy one of the stuff from here. I will buy this hair, and you can see the hair have changed. Now the karma points have changed to 3 because I have bought a item worth 5 karma points. Now you can see that this was earlier available, but now the karma points are 3, so this is now not available. Again, this is grayed out. So the settings will change quickly as you will buy anything. Since we have bought stuff and we can't buy anything more, let's go back to the scenario again. Now you can see that since I have completed the home scenario, the school scenario is unlocked. I can visit that scenario again. So let's just quickly go to this scenario. So this is the scenario, school scenario. We have a title mentioned here. I can just go complete this scenario, and yes, the scenario is completed. I have gained 2 karma points in this scenario. The score have been increased from 3 to 5. Now, if we want, we can replay this scenario. I'm going to show how to replay this scenario. I press the replay, and the scenario will start all over again. Let's this time make different choices. So this time I will choose shore. Okay, then can we talk about this? Oh, this didn't open the Minesweeper game. Let's replay that again. So use shore, again shore, and never mind HSN. So as you can see, there are specific trigger points that will start the mini game. So when user decides to have sex, the mini Minesweeper game will open up. This is the Minesweeper game. As I told earlier, that we have yellow stars which are not revealed right now. They can be either green or red in color. The red indicates the failure, and green indicates the success, which resembles a lot about the real life scenario with the contraceptives. The contraceptive we are having right now is indicated here as a method. And now let's just quickly play this game. So I revealed this particular star, and it turned out to be green in color. I gained a score for that. Again, I opened a star, it is green in color. Again, I gained a score for that. And this time it was a red star, and I faced a failure. So as you can see, score has not incremented this time, and I have failed. Had it been a green star, I would have a success, and I could open up more green star until the maximum limit had finished. So let's just continue with the continue further. So now, since it is right now in the testing phase, we haven't added the pros and cons as of yet. But later on, we will add the pros and cons of the contraceptive method user just finished. Moving further, so we can see that this scenario has been completed. Again, this scenario has been completed. Now, as I said, we can continue to the scenario, or we can go back to the map or store. Let's just continue this time. So the next scenario, the hospital scenario, has been opened directly using the continue button. I will play this scenario as well, making a random choices. And yep, it has opened the another mini game yet. So this time it is a vocabulary matching game. So we have this tutorial screen in the starting of the each mini game, which introduce what's the game about. As you can see, these are the visual descriptions that are coming from the left of the screen in a very fast-paced manner. And these are the clipboards where the name of that visuals are present. We can drag these boards to change their positions to match exactly with the visual description that's coming from the left. So as you can see, the tiles that are the visual descriptions are coming, and their names are present here. So if a pimple is present here, I can just drag and drop to match it. There's a green or red indicator. If the match is wrong, the color will change for a moment for a red or green color, which indicates whether it was a correct match or a wrong match. So for example, it was a green indicator for the last tampon. So at last, it will indicate how much correct matches we made and how much incorrect we made, and the score gained in this particular mini game. We can continue the game. This scenario has been completed as well. Now, since we have gained enough karma points, 16 karma points, we can go back to store to buy more stuff. Let's quickly go to the store activity again. This time, I can buy, since the karma points are 16, I can buy almost everything because nothing is more worth than 10 karma points. I can, this is already bought. The accessories, this accessory is bought. I can buy these accessories as well. I can choose hair worth 10 karma points, and you can see the hair has been changed. I can buy an accessory. Right now, I haven't changed the accessory. I haven't shown the accessory in the avatar. That is yet to be completed. But yeah, the logic for the accessories is implemented. So you can see as soon as I bought this, the karma points are 1. So this have been disabled because it can't be bought. Now coming back to the last scenario. So we can you can also see that since we completed the home hospital scenario, I can go to that scenario again, and it will show that this scenario has been completed, and I can replay that scenario again. Now moving further, let's play the last scenario, that is the library scenario. So yeah, so this particular scenario, let's quickly finish this scenario. Again, this is the mini game, the last mini game that we have. Again, it will show the tutorials. Let me quickly explain that. So the user will be given a statements right here, and she can choose from true, skip, or false right here. Moving further, there's a meter right here where the pointer in the scale is coming down continuously, as well as the boat is coming down synchronously with the pointer. That is going on in a continuous manner. If the user selects a correct answer, the pointer will go up by a specific amount, as will the boat. Now next we have, so next we have a timer here that will keep running in the foreground. So if the time finishes, the game will also end. So there are three ways, as I discussed earlier, to finish a game. That can be the pointer comes to the bottommost point, that is the bot sinks. The second is the timer finishes. So if it is starting from 30 seconds, if the timer reaches the zero, the game will finish. The third one is if the question set has finished. If you have answered all the questions, the game will end as well. So let's quickly start with the game. So you can see the pointer is continuously coming down. The timer is running. The first test question is presented to the user. The answer is false. Let me just choose true. And it's showing a cross mark, which indicates that this was the wrong answer. So we have added this so that user can learn whether she was right or wrong, because it is more important to impart the knowledge than just having a game. The pointer is reaching the end. I can choose false. Again, it's showing wrong. I can skip the question. I can choose okay. So the pointer came to the bottommost point. That's why the game ended. So as you can see, I made all of them were incorrect options. So I gained 0 karma points score in this particular mini game. I can continue now, and this is the end of the game. I can go back to the map, and well, this is the end of the game. So this is all about the demo. Let me quickly switch back to the presentation. So again, well, I was talking about the release versions. You can find all the release versions at this link. This is a shortened link. You can find the project code base at which is hosted at GitHub. You can find that at link, or you can go to the sisters GitHub channel, and you can find all other projects as well. If you want to contribute or test our application, you can fork the project and set it up. The instructions for setting it up are mentioned in the README of the project. You can also find the link for the documentation in the README. You can go through the documentation to understand the code base. You can find the free issues from the issue tracker of our GitHub project channel. The issues are tagged with the beginner, intermediate, or advanced tags. You can pick whatever suits you well. Also, you can work on the approved new features. You can propose new features, and once you got the approval from the mentors, you can work on that feature as well. Also, I will be discussing about the feature scope of the project. You are very welcome to work on any of those features and propose them and get them approved. If you want to test our application on your device, you can find bugs. You can test it on your device and report them in the issue tracker. If the issue is valid and it gets approved by the mentors, you can sure work on any of the bugs that you find. What are the requirements? Well, you will definitely need an Android Studio if you want to work on a development on the project, and an Android SDK. Also, you will need an Android emulator on a device. It should be greater than API level 15 because that's what we have set up for the project right now. Moving further, let's at last discuss what is the future scope of this project. Well, we can definitely add some of the animations on the screen transitions. So when one screen transits to another screen, we can add some cool animations to make the game live up. We can also include the animations on the individual game objects. For example, there's a new Lottie Android introduced by the AirNB. That's an awesome library. Maybe we can use that to have something dynamic of some dynamic avatar, like that. Avatar is dynamically moving whenever the scenario opens. We can also have animations on the conversation screens. So all the conversations, we can highlight whatever choices user had chosen. Other than that, we can include the sound effects. So whenever any of the mini game ends, we can have some sound like sound dropping from high pitch to low pitch, indicating that game is ending. Also, we can have a constant background music throughout the game. Also, there should be some pop-up sounds whenever a pop-up opens, pop-up dialogues open, to indicate an alert to alert the user. Also, I suggested in one of the meetings to include the Facebook feature to share the karma points with your friends. So user can share her karma points on Facebook with her friends. That will be a really cool feature to have. I think all of our mentors like that feature. Well, that was all from my side. thank you all of you for watching this demo. Uh, I will be happy to answer any of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin. It was a great demo.
Thank you, Anchal.
I would like to ask, how was your experience? I
Anchal,
guess it must.
Can you repeat that? Your voice is breaking up.
I wanted to ask, how was your experience working in a remote team?
Well, that was definitely rewarding one. I never worked in a team like this before. All of the members were from different time zones, so that was really difficult at the beginning because sometimes I needed to have designs for some features, and I used to ask him for that. But because of the different time zones, that particular design used to come up a day later. So I have to leave that particular feature, work on that feature midway, and start with the new feature. Also, these meetings on Google Hangouts that really helped me build my soft skills. So yeah, it was definitely a rewarding experience for me.
Are there any other
Hello.
questions? Okay, thank you so much. Dara, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have one question. So Sachin, that was a great demo, and it shows all the effort you have put in over the 3 months. So my question is, so what was your biggest takeaway from this from GSoC?
Well, definitely there is a lot. I can't discuss them all right here. It will take a lot of time. But the biggest takeaways for me was definitely I never built a project of that scale. Making a designs of mini games, that was really challenging. Recently, I was making the store activity and the layouts for that, accommodating that design on all different screen sizes, thinking in terms of all the edge cases. So ensuring that for example, in Minesweeper game, all the settings were shown after the game is completed. So I had to ensure that user can't click any of the boxes in the background. So covering all the edge cases, keeping all of this in mind, designing things from scratch on such a large scale, making a design flexible. I remember making Minesweeper game for the first time, and later it was decided that we should be able to decide how much rounds we want to have just by changing one quantity. So right now we can just change the number of rounds from 3 to 4 or 1 to 2, and the rounds will show up differently. So making it that flexible. So thinking all these terms in terms of development before starting to work on feature, that was definitely rewarding. Secondly, I learned a lot of new skills. I never worked before on unit testing. I completed a course midway between the program, and I implemented all of the unit tests. I faced some difficulties as well in the unit testing. So it was really I learned a lot about some of the things as well. For example, in animations, I wasn't aware of many things, but I had to go through the documentation to read all of them. Thirdly, I think the biggest takeaway for me will be that I can say now that I can think in terms of developing. I have a lot of connections in development, developer community. I have a lot of networking. So I started, when I faced these bugs, I never could have imagined that I will be able to solve something which is a bug in an Android core system. So eventually I solved them myself specific to our case, and I proposed the solution on Stack Overflow. it worked for some other developers as well. And now I'm contributing on Stack Overflow by answering questions. So I couldn't have imagined that such an expert community like Stack Overflow, I could be a member of that, answering questions myself also. So all of that experience was really, that was really an awesome experience. That really a rewarding experience for me. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Really good work. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Sachin, have you ever developed a game before?
Well, no. Like I said, I never had a experience in game development. Yes, I developed it. We can't say it's a game. It was kind of a chatbot. So, well, I won't classify into a game development, but the animation kind of stuffs and the games were dynamic, like Sing to Swim game. I had to ensure that pointer doesn't go out of the screen on smaller screen devices. So all this type of stuff I never did before.
Wow, great job.
Thank you, May.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I'll stop the broadcast.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Sachin.